Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany, remains one of the most infamous figures in history. Born in Austria in 1889, Hitler rose to power in the tumultuous years following Germany's defeat in World War I. He joined the Nazi Party in 1921, quickly becoming its leader. The party promoted extreme nationalism, anti-Semitism, and a desire to restore Germany to its former glory. Through propaganda and intimidation, the Nazis gained support during the political and economic instability of the 1920s and early 1930s. By 1933, Hitler had become Chancellor of Germany. Hitler's ideology was rooted in his belief in the superiority of the Aryan race and the inferiority of Jews, whom he blamed for Germany's problems. He outlined his twisted worldview in his book, My Struggle, which he wrote while in prison for treason. He consolidated his power and established a totalitarian state, suppressing opposition and eliminating individual freedoms. Germany, under Hitler's rule, rapidly rearmed, violating the Treaty of Versailles, which had been imposed on Germany after World War I. He aimed to create a vast German empire in Europe, fueled by his expansionist ambitions and a desire for Lebensraum, living space, for the German people. Hitler's rise to power had a profound impact on Germany and the world. His dictatorship, driven by a toxic mix of nationalism, racial hatred and military ambition, plunged the world into the deadliest conflict in human history. His decisions and actions led to the deaths of millions and left an indelible mark on the 20th century. The devastation caused by World War II served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of safeguarding peace and human rights. Hitler's foreign policy was driven by his ambition to expand German territory and create a dominant German empire in Europe. He believed that Germany, as a superior nation, had the right to conquer and dominate other nations. In March 1938, Germany annexed Austria in the Anschluss, a relatively bloodless takeover. Emboldened by this success, Hitler turned his attention to Czechoslovakia. He demanded the Sudetenland, a region of Czechoslovakia with a large German population. The Munich Agreement, signed in September 1938 by Germany, Britain, France and Italy, ceded the Sudetenland to Germany. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain believed that appeasement, giving in to Hitler's demands, would prevent war. However, the agreement only emboldened Hitler, who went on to occupy the rest of Czechoslovakia in March 1939. The Munich Agreement is now widely seen as a failed attempt at appeasement and a crucial turning point on the road to war. Hitler's expansionist policies and disregard for international agreements alarmed other European powers. However, they were initially reluctant to confront Germany militarily. The memory of World War I was still fresh, and many hoped to avoid another devastating conflict. However, Hitler's actions made war increasingly likely. The invasion of Czechoslovakia shattered any remaining illusions about Hitler's ambitions and convinced Britain and France that they needed to prepare for war. On September 1, 1939, German forces invaded Poland, marking the beginning of World War II. Hitler's invasion was a calculated gamble. He believed that Britain and France, despite their guarantees to Poland, would not intervene militarily. He underestimated the resolve of the Western powers, who declared war on Germany on September 3rd. The invasion of Poland was a carefully planned military operation. German forces, using their blitzkrieg lightning war tactics, rapidly overran Polish defenses. Blitzkrieg involved the coordinated use of tanks, aircraft and infantry to achieve swift and decisive victories. The Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, played a crucial role in the invasion, bombing Polish cities and military targets. The Polish army, although outnumbered and outgunned, fought bravely but was no match for the German war machine. The invasion of Poland marked the beginning of a new and even more devastating global conflict. It shattered the peace that had prevailed in Europe for 2 decades and plunged the world into 6 years of war, genocide, and destruction. The war would eventually involve over 30 countries and result in the deaths of an estimated 40 to 85 million people. The invasion of Poland was not just the start of a war. It was the beginning of one of the darkest chapters in human history. Following the conquest of Poland, Hitler turned his attention to Western Europe. In April 1940, German forces invaded Denmark and Norway, securing valuable naval bases and resources. On May 10, 1940, the Germans launched their attack on France and the Low Countries, Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg. The German offensive was swift and brutal. German forces bypassed the heavily fortified Maginot Line, a defensive barrier along the French-German border, by attacking through the Ardennes Forest, a region considered impassable by the French. The German blitzkrieg tactics once again proved effective. French and British forces were overwhelmed by the speed and ferocity of the German advance. The Luftwaffe gained air superiority, crippling Allied communications and supply lines. Within 6 weeks, France was forced to surrender. The fall of France was a stunning victory for Germany and a humiliating defeat for the Allies. It demonstrated the effectiveness of Germany's blitzkrieg tactics and the weaknesses of the Allied defenses. The defeat left Britain alone to face the